So Ladies of Logistics came together. I read up on you guys, and I was like, oh, nice. Some teamwork came into play. So how'd you guys even come up with this idea though?
When I started in transportation, I didn't know any other women. That was back in 2009. And I made a lot of mistakes, lost a lot of money. There was just a lot of things I didn't know. Figured if I knew other women, I probably would have been successful. If I just had that female that I could call and talk to and ask questions and we could vent, maybe it would have been better. Now we have the leading ladies of logistics.
You two come in and you guys start having a conversation. What comes to mind?
So I got super excited. There's somebody else that's doing something exactly like me, whether it's in transportation, whether it's like a fleet owner, a freight broker. So being able just to, like I said, connect with these ladies and we're all doing the same thing, it was just like a dream come true, because everybody that I spoke with was like the gatekeeper, the secretary, wasn't like a real female boss.
So what made you jump into the industry?
My first accounting job was at a freight forwarder. While I was there, I was in accounts receivables, and I was managing an account for a carrier for a trucking company. We talked about his account. He let me know that he was, expanding into the Charleston area. I went over with him. I learned a lot about the industry. He's my mentor, and we grew $1 million terminals down the East Coast over into the South a little bit, learning everything from the back office to the front office of daily operations. And ultimately, my love is the numbers. So I ended up being this well-rounded person in the transportation industry from managing one account at a freight forwarding office.
From Vanessa being in it for 17 years, who's next in line?
Well, for me.
What made you jump in?
My father-in-law. He was actually driving for someone else, and he would work really hard, be gone for a long time. And when he would come home, he just didn't have a lot of money. And in my mind, you're always gone, you're always working, you're never with your family, you're missing holidays and events. You should have a lot of money. Let's talk to me about this trucking stuff. And so he started talking to me and educating me on some things. And he was like, I could buy a used truck right now and fix it up and get on the road. And when he told me how much that would cost, I'm like, wait a minute, I got that in the bank right now. Let's go get the truck. And really, that's how it started. It was to really help a family member. He's been driving now for over 45 years. And most of what I know from trucking, I learned from him.
Samantha and Tawana, at what point did you guys decide being in the trucking industry was for you girls?
So I actually got in partly because of my husband. So he used to be partners with this guy. Eddie wanted to get out of the industry and more focus on home renovations. So my husband started this bright idea of buying the truck from him. I had no idea anything about the trucking business. So my husband was more of the driver and actually in the shop helping with the repairs and whatnot, where Eddie actually did the back office. So we kind of had to learn that over, or I guess from the beginning. Purchased the truck. I have actually a binder that I still have from when we first started, where I taught myself the trucking industry, and we've been in it ever since.
That's awesome. Tawana?
Ex-partner of mine wanted to get into the business, so we purchased a truck. And of course, for me, that was definitely not the right way to go, because didn't have any education, any knowledge. So like Tristan, failed miserably the first time around in the industry, but was able to connect to the right people and do it right the second time.
What all are you guys doing to help out other drivers that are stepping in?
We had to learn the hard way going along, and so we want to help other women avoid that. So one of the first things we did was we created a group on Facebook, which now has grown to over 3,000 women. We recently had an event in Atlanta that was it's still mind-blowing to me. I'm still on a high from it because it was amazing. So we have that next event coming up in November of 2021 back in Atlanta again. And the mission is to continue to help women, to help them find the right resources and the right people to assist them in their journey.
Where can they find you if they want information and they have other questions that maybe I didn't get to?
First, they could visit our website. It's www.leadingladiesoflogistics with the X. I'm on IG, Twitter, and Facebook as @LadyLogistics, and LinkedIn as well.
You guys are doing something great. It's amazing.